Spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Pylon, we have the blue Protoss player, with the blue Protoss representing Team Little Fairy. It is Shameless. Arguably the highest rated, the best Protoss in the entire tournament. Poised to go far. We'll see if he can. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Indian Zerg player. We have the red Zerg representing Manchurino Esports. It is Demi. Already taking down Bappy. Can he do it to Shameless? Let's go. Let us go. So we are going to be setting up, opening a patch gas pool, forced to take the unnatural natural, forced to expand elsewhere. Here we go. From here we are going to be building up. When it comes to Demi and how he did perform against Bappy, we did see a lot of aggressive tendencies here. Again, Demi, he's been known for mutaplay, and mutaplay is where he does really find his biggest strengths. On a map as small as Pylon, though, I would lean away from mutaplay, and we could see something more aggressive on 3 bases. Going for 3 base all-ins are very strong, very powerful here on Pylon. Again, Pylon short rush distance by ground, exposed third expansion as well, so higher chances to pull off something like that. So we'll keep an eye on Demi's drone count. We'll see if he does open up roaches as well. We'll keep an eye on his tech of choice. Here we go. So here we have link speed on the way. Demi, he does pull out of gas, so he's not rushing into an early lair. Good to know. And Shameless is playing standard, going for the Stargate. Again, we don't really expect any big deviations from Shameless. We expect Stargate play into a third base, in towards +1 and blink. Shameless, he doesn't really want to mix things up too much and play like Glaives Edge, for example. It's not his style. Shameless does poke in. Goes in, does pull away. Likewise, Demi just droning, saturating. We do have an extra wave of Lings in production, but this should just be to shut down the Adepts. Doesn't look like it's going to be enough to really counterattack and threaten the third base of Shameless. No, with so few Lings. Shameless does pull away. Here come the Lings to try to shut them down, but Shameless, he should be able to escape to set up his third. Does shade, heads towards his third position. With the Adept still alive, that does mean that Shameless can be more active with his oracles. So he does make it back. That is going to be a Twilight Council before third base, so this is much more aggressive. I did just mention that I don't really expect Shameless to go into Glaives, but this is a sign of potential either early Glaives or early Blink. So early tech here from our blue Protoss, delayed third base. Oracles move out. We're waiting for extra gateways. There we go. We have 2 more gates waiting for another. Sorry, there it is. 4 gate setup. No forge yet. And show us that upgrade. Shameless gets in 3, up to 4 drone kills. The Spore as well. Aye, aye, aye. Twilight Council is done, and we are getting into Blink. So early Blink out of Shameless, not Glaive Adepts. But what does this early Blink timing mean? This means that he's going to be ready for an all-in. If Demi does go for a 3-base all-in, then Blink is done in time to defend the third base. At the same time, Shameless can turn this defense into an offense, throw down extra gateways, and apply a lot of pressure and break the fourth of Demi. Not this third, but by the time Demi gets his fourth base up and running, that's when Blink kicks in. When he tries to get it up, I should say. Let's say shade into the main. Shade into the main base. There's a 9 mining. They scout, they confirm the Roach Warren. +1 has begun. Oh, nice pickups. Gets 4 more drones. And soon Shameless can start to move out. Just waiting for his upgrade, waiting for extra Stalker Warpins. Demi is still taking extra gases here. There's a chance, by the way, when this delay finishes, he could even... there's Neva Chamber. I was going to say he could go for the Spire. If we see +1 melee, that would be indicative of Spire tech. But for now, Roaches are on the way. Here's that fourth base that we did mention. So the fourth gets thrown down, and Shameless, he's going to be in position to deny. Again, this is the power of the early blink timing, is you can push out in this way and break the fourth. And just contain Demi on 3 bases and just gain momentum from here. And this is a very rough start for Demi. Demi stuck on 3 bases, stuck on equivalent base count to his opponent, which should never be happening against EVP. And Shameless is taking a lead. He's taking a lead. He's gaining momentum. And it feels like he's forcing Demi's hand into an all-in. As Demi attempts to re-expand, Shameless should be rotating to deny the expansion again for a second time. Shameless getting his 4th base. Has to race over. Ooh, Lynx, can we force a cancel? Up! It's gonna be close, he can. Yeah, he can and he will. Shameless out of position. There's a cancellation. And Shameless, he should reciprocate. Demi's taking. He's taking up Infestation Bit. That tells us that he's going to be droning. On the one hand, Shameless forced to cancel. On the other hand, same for Demi. Another cancellation. Lings, they attempt to run by. Where are the oracles, by the way? 1 oracle went down. There's 1 oracle with the main army. As ideally, the oracles are defensive here, or at least 1. So they pick in. So far, very nice control. Lings are deflected. Shameless is poking forward. Demi's getting his hive. Hive is on the way. Roaches are falling down. I mean, this is just critical damage, and Shameless, he can just blink in. He's going to be playing it more conservative, though, as things pop out. True, true. Plays it safe. Demi's holding on. Oh no, the queen! Demi's holding on. He's trying to switch into Hydra Lurker, but this tech is so far away. His 4th base is just now finishing. These are still brutal losses. As here comes the rest of the army. Shameless pushing in. Oh. And GG. Yeah, GG gets called. Demi, he is broken, and Shameless, he will take game number 1. Whew, GG. Again, just to re-emphasize, it is so crucial that Shameless killed the 4th base twice. Without a 4th, you are behind in economy, behind in workers, behind in production, behind in army as well. You're behind so heavily that is game. Like, to lose your 4th base that many times, that is brutal. You just cannot keep up supply-wise and economically, and just with the Protoss, especially with that Blinkstalker aggression. And GG. GG well played. Shows how imperative it is to protect that 4th base, to be able to keep up with your opponent's aggression. And you can also see kind of the power of that early blink timing. Now we're getting into game number 2. Now it isn't just the early blink timing, but also the map. We spoke about it. Pylon is very small, short rushes is by ground, all-ins and aggression are favored, and we did see a lot of aggression out of Shameless. It was Demi that was trying to drone, and Demi that was trying to build up into a macro game, and was punished for it. Was punished, and here we go. We're getting into game number 2, and spawning in the top right hand corner of Tokamak, we have the blue Protoss player, the blue Protoss himself. Representing Team Little Fairy, it is Shameless. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the red Zerg player representing Matcherino Esports from the land of India. It is Demi. Here we go. As well to Tokamak. Tokamak is almost the direct opposite of Pylon. Tokamak is a much larger map, longer rush distance by ground, and also very defendable on 4 bases. So the likelihood of Shameless going into early blink the same way that he did is very low, right? There's a low chance of that happening. There's a higher chance of Shameless just being more defensive and enjoying a 3 and 4 base setup and building up into a later army instead. There's a higher chance of that happening. At the same time, because this map is larger and because there's a higher chance that the Protoss play is going to be more defensive and more passive, then suddenly Mutaplay becomes viable, right? Spire play and Mutaplay is on the table here for Demi. It is an option. From here, Shameless does pull away. Now we're just getting into our openers. Nothing crazy, just hatch, gas pool. Pulls out of gas, likewise gate expand to Cybercore, Stargate open out of Shameless into Oracle. And just like last game, the big moment, the big thing that we're looking for is the timing of the tech and the timing of the third base. Last game was an earlier Twilight Council into an earlier Blink, into earlier Stalker aggression. It all was kind of leading into and all headed towards that timing to hit the 4th base. We'll see if he does it again. Again, I'm not too fond of the idea of doing that, especially on a larger map like this, like Tokamak. So that's not what I expect at least, but we'll see. As Shameless does attempt to shade. And just keeping Demi on his toes. Let's keep him on his toes here. Stagnant Death does move in. In the shade. And the Shameless claiming his 3rd base, and as you can see, this time, unlike the previous game, he should be going for a faster, oh, there's the juice! Faster 3rd. This time 3rd base before the Twilight Council, so more of an economic build out of Shameless compared to last game. Oracle dips in, gets 1, gets 2, but does overextend! Ooh, and that is a big loss here for Shameless. First Oracle goes down, gets 2 drones, that is not worth it. And not worth it for Shameless. That is an early Twilight Council. Not as early as last game, but still earlier than normal. So early Council, Gateway's being thrown down. This should be either Glaives or Blink again. We'll keep an eye on him. We'll see what it's going to be. Again, this is not as fast as last game, but still an aggressive build. Second Oracle pokes in, gets 1 drone. Twilight Council's finishing up. And it's going to be Lair first by Demi. Does go for the early Lair. And this time, Glaive Adepts. This is what I assumed was going to be happening last game, if you recall. I was like, it's probably Glaives, but it turned out to be Blink. This time we have Glaives, so Shameless, he is being aggressive. Remember, this is not an all-in, but this is a way to cripple the Zerg player. It's a way to cripple. For now, this is just regular Adept aggression. So we have 5 Adepts. Ooh, he commits to the shade. He does commit in. Things are going down. Remember, this aggression is not indicative of Glaives. But ideally, Shameless does want to preserve this army. If there's a recall, saves the Adepts. Picked up 5 Lings, no economic damage. Saves the Adepts, and we'll be able to preserve them and build them up into that Glaive timing. If he lost them, that would have been disastrous. So Demi, oh god, he's going in, he's skipping roaches. Oof, this might just end the game. So this is not meant to kill, this is meant to cripple, this is meant to do economic damage, but if there's no Bailey Nest, if there's no Roach Warren, if it's purely Ling, Queen, Hydra, then Adepts can just kill. Because, I mean, how do you stop them? How do you stop them? You need a massive amount of Adepts to surround. Here we go, down goes the first Queen, he gets 1, he gets 2, he gets all 3 Queens. All 3 Queens go down. Adepts a shade into the natural, Lings are trying to engage. And they do catch out some Adepts. Okay, mispositioning here from Shameless. Oh, but Lings are still falling. Adepts a clump up. They get 6 turns, GG gets called, game ending damage, and Shameless, he will take the series 2-0. GG. Whew. GG, well played. He will claim the series. Once again, when it comes to Glaive Adepts, they're not meant to end the game, not in that way. They're just meant to get some economic damage, then be dealt with, and then we can move on into a longer game state where Shameless has been working on +1 and Blink and getting his 3rd base up and running. Unfortunately, Demi, he skipped his tech. He was being greedy, he skipped his Baneling Nest, and he skipped his Roach Warren, so he had no way to deal with Glaive Adepts. Yes, he has Lings and Queens, but as you saw, Adepts they trade very efficiently against that kind of army, even against a low amount of Hydras as well. Hydras are also very vulnerable as they are light units, so Hydras take bonus damage from Adepts, so do Lings. So Lings and Hydras take bonus damage, so they just do not last at all against Adepts like that, and that was game ending. GG. GG, well played. My condolences to Demi as he gets caught with this. The pants were down. Happy the pants were down. GG, well played. And with that, we are going to be wrapping up our series and getting ready for our next matchup. We are going to be going on a short break. When we come back, we're going to be returning with a PvP. We're going to be returning here with Ledlix versus Mute in a Protoss versus Protoss matchup. Europe versus Latino America. No shame in that loss. Shameless might be true. I see. I see what you did there, Pappy. I see what you did there. But we're going to be going on a break. When we come back, we'll have the next 2 matches of the broadcast. See you then. See you soon. See you soon, Pappy. See you soon.